Real Talk with Star Scorpio. Today, Saturday, February 26th, I am interviewing Adama and Jai, representing Up With Women. Up With Women is a registered charity dedicated to helping recently homeless and at-risk women to build sustainable, prosperous careers and businesses with the aim of permanently exiting poverty. This is exactly a quote from their website. I cannot wait to interview her. But one thing I'm going to do today, along with donating to one of the three charities that I'm donating to this season, which is Up With Women, the Fundraiser Warriors, and the Mississauga Humane Society, I will be donating money to the Red Cross to support people living in Ukraine. That is a bonus donation today. I'm emotionally impacted by what's going on over there. So anything I can do to help out, I'm going to do. Adama, welcome to Real Talk with Star Scorpio. How you doing today?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. It's a pleasure having you here. We've been planning this for a long time.
I know.
How long has it been? You said before we started recording?
I think 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Because, it was in January, so yeah.
Yeah, so I reached out to you. Okay, and before we start, I just want the people to know, the people that are going to watch this is the second season of Real Talk with Star Scorpio. The first season, I donated to ALS, Alzheimer's Society of Canada, and the Cancer Society. Mm-hmm. The second season, I was reaching out to see who I would donate to for the second season. So it could be a cause or a charity. And I wanted to have a guest on from the charities that I was going to donate to. And I'm lucky enough to have all three. And Adama and Jai is my first guest from Up With Women, who I've been donating to through the balloon pop from my guest. So welcome, Adama, to the show again.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for what you're doing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so before we talk about Up With Women, that great cause for women, let me know about yourself. So where did you grow up? Where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Paris. I'm a French Senegalese. So my mother is a white French woman and my father was a Black Senegalese.
Okay.
So I grew up in Paris. Being mixed race in France was not an easy thing.
Yeah.
So I grew up, facing racism, not only, I would say from the both part, meaning from white people and from Black people as well. So I have that sense of being treated as a second-class citizen in Paris, but also experiencing racism within the African community, within the Muslim community. So it was not easy growing up in Paris.
Yeah, from both sides. So that probably made you a strong woman too, today.
I mean, hardship sometimes that just makes you stronger, Yeah. So yes. And then when I grew up, I mean, this is actually when I find, I was always say this is where I find my peace in religion, because God doesn't care what color I am. He doesn't care about my nationality. He just care about, the impact I have on other people. So this is where I find kind of my safe haven. And I started wearing hijab when I was younger. Okay. And it was around, the Paris attack. So it was really hard wearing hijab in Paris because I experienced a lot of Islamophobia. So I decided to come to Canada.
Oh, that was a good move.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was necessary for my mental health. So I arrived here in Canada and I started working for Up With Women. So,
okay, beautiful story. Did you leave your parents back home then?
My father, unfortunately, passed away 6 years ago. So God may have mercy on his soul. I still have my wonderful mother. She still lives in Paris. Okay. And for the first time last year, she came to Canada. It was the first time in Canada, so we were all excited. So
yeah.
It was nice. Yeah.
Nice. Wait, what about do you have siblings?
Yes, I have 3 siblings, 2 sisters and 1 little brother.
And where are they right now?
They're still in France. They're still in France.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic, so you said your mom came here last year.
Yeah.
So I'm having trouble. I remember 3 years now, I think we're going into COVID.
Yes,
so
I know.
With the lockdown, you couldn't travel back home if you wanted to, and she couldn't. But
I couldn't see her for a year, and I lived with her my entire life, except when I was in the US because I was doing, my internship and everything. But I lived with her my entire life, and it was so hard for us to be apart. And finally, the border opened, and she was able to come. And then she did like a million tests to come here. She was able to come and spend some time together, and she really enjoyed being in Canada, and she also noticed that I was happier being here. So it was nice. It was really nice.
Yes. So I noticed you have a little accent there. So before we started recording, your first language is French, but
it's French,
how many languages do you speak?
I speak 5 different languages, but not at the same level. I'm bilingual in French and English. I also read and write Arabic.
Okay.
I can speak Spanish, and also I speak my father dialect, which is Wolof. It's a Senegalese dialect.
Senegalese. Okay. That's an arsenal. Amazing. So Adama, tell me a little bit about your schooling now.
So I went to university. So I study international development. That's where I learned different languages. When I was younger, I went. My school was diverse in the sense of there were Black kids and white kids, but I would say the class disparity was very present in the sense of you really see, different type of class, different type of background, and that was really something that was present. And growing up, I'll see that.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's get into Up with Women.
Yes.
So did Up with Women find you, or did you find Up with Women?
We kind of find each other. So I was looking for a job, and I applied for this amazing organization. And so I talked with the CEO, Leah Grimanes, and she was amazing. We really we found some common experience, and so I decided to. They offered me the job, and I accepted it, and I've been working for them ever since.
Okay, and what is your role there? And how long you been there then?
Actually, just 2 months. That's the reason why.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm the philanthropy manager.
Okay.
So I take care of everything that is related to fundraising.
Okay. That makes sense. And I actually work for a registered charity myself, Medicare Foundation Canada.
Nice.
And I know that every donation dollar counts. So a little bit later, absolutely. I want to ask you how people can give and things. But do you know how Up with Women started?
So our CEO, Leah Grimanes, she was born and raised in an abusive family, dysfunctional family. So she was a homeless teenager. And when she was in the shelter, she promised herself that she was going to help other women to break the cycle of poverty, to just get back on their feet. So, and this is how she created Up with Women. She experienced also very traumatizing things. She went through to rape, to homelessness as a teenager. So she really understands our participant life and struggle.
When people are personally impacted by something such as she went through, they can really give what they want to give to something they want to start, which is a good charity. Women, personal impact.
And that's actually the reason why it is very important for our team to be diverse and to represent the community that we're serving. That's the reason why, like, more than 80% of our board member, our staff member are racialized and also have a lived experience similar to our participant, right?
There it is. Lived experience. Right? You said it.
Yeah.
You said it.
And a large part of our success lies in this ability for us to say, I know you can get there because I was there too,
That really helps when you can share your stories. That really helps. Absolutely. And so when we talk about helping women, you help out people with disabilities, living with disabilities, mothers, youth, survivors of violence. But one thing I wanted to ask you is some women feel stuck, especially when they have kids. So I know a few women that were in abusive relationships and they feel like they can't get out, and they're on 2-income family and they have kids. So they just stay and take the abuse, which is not right. Do you have any advice for women in that situation?
Yeah. So, okay. Let me tell you a little bit more about the charity. Okay,
Yes.
our organization. So, Up with Women, Exponenti'elles in French, is a national charity on a mission to help low-income, recently homeless, and at-risk women and gender diverse individuals. The goal is to rebuild their lives, for them to create a sustainable pathway out of poverty. Okay. Right. So our goal is really to help women permanently break the cycle of poverty through the power of coaching. Okay, we really believe that success belongs to everyone. Right. So you mentioned that our participants so have been homeless or at risk to be homeless and live below the poverty line. More than 80% of them have live with disability, as you mentioned, including physical challenges, neurodiversity, depression, anxiety, PTSD, those kind of things. Yes. Many of them are survivors also. And the vast majority of them are racialized women, refugee, immigrant, right? So you mentioned that some women, what we call actually hidden homelessness, right? Okay. Some women, for example, they are staying at a friend, right? They're staying at a family member that are being abusive to them, right? But they cannot leave. Right. Because they don't have anywhere else to go, right? And this is what we call hidden homelessness. Okay. Because you won't find those numbers anywhere, but they're real. Those women are in a difficult situation when they cannot, they don't see no future. They don't see how they can get out of this situation. So that's the reason why they can reach out to us, and we can help them to find a secure place to really find their gift, find their talent, what they're good at, what they can do in life,
Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So what are some of the resources, specific resources that can help women out? Because, sure. When you're in that position where you don't feel like you have a way out, and then you make that phone call, what are some of the things that you offer? Okay, so our key ingredient is coaching. We really believe in the power of coaching. So we have a year-long intensive program of career development and entrepreneurship. Includes one-on-one customized coaching with a certified coach, right? So our core program consists of three different key elements. So the first one, as I mentioned, is the support of a certified coach and a program manager to really, it's a really one-on-one relationship where the participant can ask questions, can benefit from a safe space to really grow and to have advice from their coaches, right? Also, some tools, access to digital tools, including a career development portal, an entrepreneurship learning platform, and we really use personality and emotional intelligence assessment for them to really find what they're good at, what they want to do in their life. And the third one is a monthly group support, when women can, share experience, learn from each other. They can build skill around resilience, communication, and other work-related topics. Perfect. Yeah. Sorry, were you going to add something else? No, it's really about finding, the what makes you special. What is your superpower? So yeah. This is what coaching is about. Believe that. Nice. Yeah. And there's some people that I interview where I like to just listen and learn, and this is one of those interviews because this is very important. And even on that, when COVID started. I was surprised. I get emotional when I talk about this, but I was surprised that there was an increase in domestic abuse. Like I was Absolutely. Like, what's going on here? Absolutely. And then I seen a commercial or an ad where there was a signal for women in distress. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So what brought this about, and what do you think the reason was with the increase in domestic abuse for women? Okay, the thing is that if a woman is in an abusive relationship, she can get some space
out of this relationship, for example, when she go to work or when she go to school or when she leaves the house. When with the pandemic, what happened is that you spend 24/7 with your abuser. You're in the same house and you cannot, there's no way for you to escape. So that's mainly the reason why abuse have been increasing for that reason. And so if what I would say to women is that you need to trust yourself. You need to trust your instinct, right? If you feel like you're in an abusive relationship, if you feel like there is something wrong about your relationship, you're probably right. It is probably what you feel. It's not just in your head. You're probably right. So what I would really advise women is trust the instinct for sure. And also not to be ashamed, and really not to be ashamed of asking for help. All right. Do not think that you're the only one. Unfortunately, many of us have been experienced an abusive relationship, and do not give up on yourself and do not be ashamed. Do not give up on yourself, really.
Yeah. So you can't see this. My eyes are watering right now. This is why I'm glad I'm wearing the shades, because it's hard to hear about this. And if people do watch this episode, it'll be good for women. Yes. Yeah, it'd be good for women to hear. You do understand? Yeah,
I understand. Of course I do. Of course I do.
Yeah, it'd be good for women to hear that there is a way out.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. And what we say is that success belongs to everyone. It's not because something, some bad thing happened to you that your life is ruined forever. You can overcome. You can fight and be successful again. I'm going to share with you some stories. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this was my next question.
Yeah.
So, but first, I might be going a little bit ahead, but you're going to share some stories. But one story or a couple stories I want to hear about. You must have success stories.
Absolutely.
of women that reached out, called you, went through the process. And I wanted to know, are any of those women like working for you now too, or now they're in that position? Okay, go ahead, share some stories with me.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share with you the story of Ingrid. Okay, so she was born with a degenerate eye disorder, which caused her to slowly become blind for the past 10 years, right? So she was very passionate. She was very creative. She was an intelligent woman, but she had to fight stigma, discrimination, and exclusion. She was actually on disability assistant, even if she was capable of work, right?
Yeah.
So she met another participant who encouraged her to apply to our program. She applied and she was successful. And she started working with her coach to eliminate what we call limiting beliefs, right? To really build her confidence.
Okay.
And after only 10 months, she got an opportunity, what she described as her dream job. And she applied for the job with the help of her coach. And she's now the director of network and relationship in a local charity in Toronto. And she earned more than $6,000 a month.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. And she created also 2 businesses. So in only 1 year, she went from deep poverty to live well above the poverty line. And this is how, exceptional our program and our participants are. You mentioned earlier that some of our participants became our staff member.
Yes.
So I'll share with you the story of Joeria. She's amazing. So she was a refugee. She had to flee Uganda for a political persecution. So in her country, she had a job, she had a family. She was even 8 months pregnant, but she had no other choice but to leave because her life was in danger, right? So she was alone. She didn't have no contact. She had to start her life all over again. And she was very scared. When she described, a flight from Uganda, she said that she was crying the whole flight.
Wow.
So when she arrived at the Canadian counter, she claimed asylum. And of course, the immigration officer asked for her address, but she didn't have any, right? So she literally had to search on Google, on her phone, a shelter address because she didn't have any, right?
Yeah.
And this is when she realized that she had no place to stay, and she was a pregnant, homeless woman. So then she was accepted into a shelter. She described the life in the shelter like not easy. She said that she had, of course, limited privacy. She shared space with other women that she didn't know. And of course, she was pregnant, and eventually she gave birth around that time. So just imagine giving birth in a shelter without your family, be away from home.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really hard for her, and that's the reason why she actually went through postpartum depression. So she was very depressed. And our staff members were doing a presentation at her shelter, and she said she started to hope again, because after she was accepted into a program, she said she finally had someone to support her and to walk the journey with her. That's what it's about, just really supporting women. So after only 6 months into the program, she worked with her coach. She was able to get a job as a personal support worker and to get out of her shelter. So for the first time since she arrived in Canada, she got her own apartment. She has now a place that she can go home. And she said that nothing beats the feeling of having a roof over your head, right? And now she's part of our team. She is a program coordinator, and she's doing amazing.
Amazing right? Story. Yes. And I bet there's many more too.
Yes.
Can I find those stories on the website?
Absolutely. You can find them. There is even a video about them. You can on our website, on our Facebook page. We are very, very proud of them. And let me just tell you some numbers, some very impressive numbers. Yes. So Upward Women Impact results have accelerated in spite of COVID-19, resulting in employment among our graduates almost reduced by half.
Wow.
So more than 200% average annual income increase. 1,500% more women in stable full-time jobs. More than 50% terminated their social assistance. Yep. Amazing. And 1 in 5 graduates earn at least $40,000 a year.
Sweet. You read my mind, because I was going to ask you for stats, and I'm glad you had the stats.
Yep. Because I mean, our numbers are very impressive. This is really for us to show the impact.
The impact.
Right? And how our program is working, right?
So Adama, also, are there any stories that you can share that impacted you as an individual or as an organization? Sure.
I have a couple of stories to share with you. But first, just a quick trigger warning before I share potentially disturbing content. Okay. Because and that might include reference to sexual abuse, violence, human trafficking, drug and alcohol addiction. So that member of your audience can emotionally prepare for this content in case they have a similar lived experience.
Thank you.
So yes, for this story, I'm not going to share the name. So this woman she was raped when she was only 17. She only told one friend who did not believe her. So she had a severe addiction to drug and alcohol, and she ended up in an abusive relationship. So one day she had some kind of wake-up call when she was actually putting makeup on her body to cover her bruises while she was getting ready for a sex worker night. So she finally found the strength to call the police on her boyfriend, who has been raping her and exploiting her for years. So not only she had to overcome a tremendous amount of trauma, but she also had an obsessive compulsive disorder. Her self-esteem was completely broken. She was very shy, and she was deeply, deeply traumatized. So after 6 months within the program, she got a part-time job. She found the courage to testify against her ex and to finally put him in jail where he belongs. But she didn't stop there, right? She wanted to become a lawyer. She wanted to help other women. So even if she was still very fragile, Upward Woman helped her to apply for law school, and she was accepted into top law school in the country. She got a scholarship. She was top of her class. And after 1 year graduation, she was involved with the Canadian Center to End Human Trafficking. And she got offered a position in a law firm, a top law firm in Canada.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So she passed the bar, and she's now getting ready to become a lawyer. And this is how she described it. She would never have been able to do it without Upward Woman. That's what she said. That's her word. So it really, and this is what our organization is about: women helping other women. You know, it's not one situation, one mistake you made, or one thing happened to you can define the rest of your life. You can overcome your trauma, and you can really, rebuild your life.
Thank you for sharing that one too.
Yeah, and the second one is the story of Marie-Ève. You can also find this story on our website, on our social media. So she grew up in a dysfunctional family. She was actually an incest survivor. And when she was asked to describe the abuse, she said that she couldn't count how many times she was raped. She stopped counting after 15 times. This is how horrible her story is. So she had to leave a dangerous and unhealthy environment, and she lived for Trois-Rivières in Quebec. She got a bachelor's degree. So for her, education was her only way out for her to get educated, right?
Yeah. So
she tried very hard to cope with her trauma. So she got her degree, but after that, she started using again because she didn't have a goal. She didn't have like a sense of purpose, right? And this is when the memories of her abuse start coming back to her. She then realized the magnitude of everything that she had gone through. And she had, of course, severe PTSD. And at that moment, she said to herself that she didn't want it to live anymore. Her life did not make sense. Her life was unbearable to her. Even her psychiatrist had diagnosed her with an employment incapacity, meaning that she wouldn't be able to get a job, right? So she was of course, on social assistance. So this is what her life was. So eventually she sought help, and she left Trois-Rivières, and she went with 2 backpacks to end up in shelter in Montreal. She was introduced to a Upward Woman program. And when she met her coach for the first time during the intake interview, she was asked what was her dream, what could give a life a sense of purpose, And she said that she would like to run her own natural cosmetic company. Because, yeah, great, right?
Yeah.
Because she had been making her own cosmetic for herself. And she wanted, for the past 2 years, and so she wanted other people to benefit from it. So her coach really focused on, resilience and, really resilience that was already inside of her. So she can really gain confidence and launch her own company. So she took a business development class. She completed unemployment reintegration program. She did internship. She was on fire. And now she's running a profitable natural cosmetic company. And after being unemployed for 6 years.
Wow.
So yeah, that's incredible, right?
Yes.
And even when she talks about herself, she said that I am proud of myself. And something that really, your question was if that impacted me. And she said that she felt dirty for the most part of her life. Yeah. And now she says she wants to shine. She wants to honor the woman that she's becoming. And really, she said that Upward Women really help her to dream again. And this is what her organization is about. Make women dream again, trust themselves, have more confidence, be able to overcome their trauma. So this is it. This is the 2 story I wanted to share with you.
You know what? I'm going to tell people right now, I'm going to take that line from you and I'm going to put it in this video somehow. Make women dream again. I might open with that. Watch the teaser. It's coming. How can someone donate to your cause? I already know because I'm an avid donor. Yeah. But also, if they can't afford that, you don't have the funds, is there any other way that someone can contribute?
Absolutely. So there is many different ways for you to support our mission and to help women and gender diverse individuals rebuild their lives. So you can refer someone, yourself or your friend, okay, to be part of the program. You can become a sponsor. You can also register for a monthly donation. You can also start a local fundraising with your friends, your family, your co-workers, and you can talk about us to your boss because we're also looking for corporate partnership. So if you feel like you cannot afford to make a donation, there's many ways for you to just support it. And let's not forget social media. You can share a post or just what you're doing right now, what is amazing. Just give us some platform to just share the work that we're doing and the story of this woman. So
amazing. And I do have to tell that story. The reason why I made Up With Women part of my donation cause for season 2 is because I was so inspired by Che when he DJ'd for 24 hour. He had a 24-hour fundraiser.
Amazing.
That is inspiring. Yes.
So much. And what I love about this is that people that have a platform, they have I don't know, millions of followers, and they use their platform, they use their voice to bring awareness and to make a difference in this life. And to me, this is what success is about. The success is how how you impact other people's life, what difference you make in this world with the voice that you have. And this is what you do, and I think it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah. Any way I can help out, you know what I mean? Getting the message out there.
So great.
Do you have emergency services as well? Because there are some women who are living the life and then they make that decision one day to maybe call and look for support. But there are those cases where it's immediate, like they have to get out right away. So do you have the number and the contacts where they can reach out right away?
You can go to your local shelter. Okay. So there is assistance where those people are really qualified and equipped to guide you and to help you. You've been taken care of. And really what we're doing is more of a long-term support. But if you need emergency support, just go to your local shelter and just call the police. If you feel like your life is in danger, just call 911.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. The last thing I want to do, we're going back to you now, Adama.
Oh, okay.
For season 2 for Real Talk. I have 2 cards here. Okay. And you're going to choose by my hand, right? Right or left. There's one of 2 questions that you have to answer.
Okay.
Which hand? My hand.
Right.
Right hand?
Yeah.
What is one of the most memorable moments of your life?
Oh, wow. That's the big one. You're going deep, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So probably I told you I lost my father when I was 25. So my father had cancer, so he was sick for almost 4 years. And so my daddy was my best friend. We were very close, and I was taking care of him through the last moment of his life. And something I would not forget is he was buried in Africa, so I needed to take his body back to Senegal so he can be buried with his family and his ancestor. And this was very hard, but what I've noticed is that my father was so open and so kind with others that the diversity of the people that came to his funeral was amazing. We had people from the government, very wealthy people, and also people who were almost homeless. This is how my dad he was amazing, to the point that he wouldn't care about who you are and how much money you're making. He would just accept you. And I feel like this is probably the best memory I have, because people were united and into honoring his life and the impact he had on their life. And people would come at me and say, I was broke. I was in Paris, and your dad invite me to his house. He give me food, he give me clothes, and give me money. And like, I cannot even count how many people told me this.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this is one of my best memory. And this is how I really honor my father's legacy and to really try to have a positive impact on the world and on people.
Well spoken, well said. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, there's a couple more things we got to do, but first I want to find out how people, not me, how people can find Up With Women. How can they donate? Share all the information you can about social and things like that.
Absolutely. So if you want to contact us, you just send an email to info@upwithwomen.org. You can find us on social media at upwithwomen.org. Very easy to making a donation online, and very easy for you to refer a friend or to get into the program. Okay, so you might be qualified for the program if you're in a situation that we mentioned before. So you can it's really easy for you to get in touch with us.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you gave me your bio in French. This is one thing you did. I took French in school, but I stopped in grade 9. So
sorry, I was like, it's in French. Sorry.
No worries. So it's bilingual. So the thing, I have a lot of connections too. So I actually interviewed Andra Postavaru. She's a muralist. She's a good friend of mine when she was here in Toronto. Now she's in Montreal. So she was my last interview on Real Talk. I got her to translate your bio. So I have the resources. So when I post this, it's going to be, I'm going to put English and French on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere I can. And another thing today, what I'm doing, I'm actually going to donate to 3 times. So let me explain.
Wow.
So I found it hard doing this interview today because of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, right? So I'm like, but these kind of things can't stop. So what I'm doing today is donating to Red Cross because they have a page for Ukrainian people. So I'm going to send money to that.
Good. That's good.
I'm also donating to Up With Women without the balloon pop. But right now, you're going to choose a balloon to pop and I'll see which charity I'm donating to. And it might be Up With Women. We'll see. Adama, I have 3 balloons in my hand. And by the one you select, I'll know which cause charity that I'm donating to today.
Okay, let's do this.
Purple, pink, or orange?
I'll go with purple.
So the 7th charity that Star Scorpio is donating to is the Mississauga Humane Society.
Great.
Helping animals, great cause.
Yes, it is.
So Adama, thank you for coming. Thank you for representing Up With Women today.
Thank you.
And I hope success, and I hope the charity grows more and more each day and spread awareness.
Thank you so much.
Episode 7 in the books, and we out.
Thank you.